James had always been a man of charm and confidence. He had a beautiful wife, Olivia, who was the epitome of grace and elegance. Their marriage was built on love and trust, but somewhere along the way, excitement has started to fade. James often found himself reminiscing about the old days, when passion burned between them like an unstoppable fire. He wanted to reignite that fire, but his desires took him down an unexpected and dangerous path. One evening, James invited his two closest friends, Ryan and Daniel, over for dinner. The three men have been friends since college, sharing secrets, adventures, and experiences that bonded them for life. Olivia prepared a delicious meal, pouring drinks as they laughed and talked about old memories. As the night went on, James brought up a topic that left everyone stunned. What if we tried something different? Something thrilling? Something that could change the way we see relationships? James said, his eyes gleaming with an unusual excitement. Ryan and Daniel exchanged curious glances, intrigued by what their friend was suggesting. Olivia, too, looked at her husband with a mix of confusion and unease. She loved James deeply, but she sensed something strange about his words. "What do you mean, James?" Olivia asked cautiously. James leaned forward, lowering his voice as he spoke. "For one night, just one night, I want you to experience something different. I want you to be with Ryan or Daniel, maybe both, just to see how it feels to add something new to our relationship." Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. Olivia's heart pounded in her chest. Was this a joke? A test? She looked at her husband, searching his face for any sign of insincerity. But he was serious. Ryan cleared his throat, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. "James, are you sure you want this? Olivia is your wife, James." Nodded yes. "I love her, but I also want to explore this idea. I trust you both." Daniel hesitated, studying Olivia. She was beautiful, kind, and undeniably alluring. He had admired her from a distance for years, but had always respected the boundaries of friendship. Now those boundaries were being tested in the most unexpected way. Olivia felt her world spinning. She loved James, but she couldn't deny that. The idea ignited a strange curiosity inside her. There was something about the way Daniel and Ryan looked at her, something she hadn't noticed before. For years, she had been devoted to James, but now a forbidden temptation loomed before her. After what felt like an eternity, Olivia took a deep breath. "If this is really what you want, James, then okay." James exhaled, as if relieved by her answer. He poured more drinks and the atmosphere changed. The night became a blur of emotions. Whispered touches, stolen glances, and uncharted pleasure. Olivia found herself in a whirlwind of sensations, surrendering to the moment. She felt desired, worshipped, and alive in a way she hadn't in years. But in the morning, reality hit hard. The bed was empty except for Olivia. James was gone. A sinking feeling took over her. She sat up, clutching the sheets. What had she done? Was this a mistake? She quickly dressed in search for James. She found him sitting on the balcony, staring into the distance, his expression unreadable. She hesitated before speaking. "James, are you okay?" He turned to her, his eyes filled with an emotion she couldn't quite place. "I thought this would make us stronger. I thought I could handle it. But seeing you with them, it did something to me." Her heart clenched. "I only did it because you asked me to." James nodded, his jaw tightening. "I know. And that's what hurts the most." Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes. "James, I love you. It was just one night. It didn't mean anything." He sighed heavily, "Didn't it? Because when I watched you, I saw something different in your eyes. Something that wasn't for me." Olivia's breath hitched. She couldn't deny the truth in his words. Something had shifted, a part of her had awakened. A part that she didn't even know existed. But she also knew that she loved James and she didn't want to lose him. Ryan and Daniel soon left, the weight of what had happened hanging over them like a storm cloud. The friendship between the four was forever altered. James withdrew, no longer looking at Olivia the same way he had. Thought this experiment would rekindle their love. But instead, it had shattered something delicate between them. Days turned into weeks, and the silence between them grew. One night, Olivia finally spoke. "James, please. Let's fix this. We can move past it." He looked at her pain deep in his eyes. "I don't know if we can, Olivia. I don't know if I can," and in that moment, Olivia realized that some things once broken could never be put back together the same way again. The love was still there, but the trust was gone. And without trust, what was left? A love story turned into a tragedy, all because of one reckless night. Would they find their way back to each other? Or had they lost each other forever? Only time would tell. James distanced himself even further. Every day he went to work early and returned home late. Avoiding conversations, Olivia tried to reconnect. Cooking his favorite meals, sending him sweet messages. But nothing worked. She confided in her best friend Emily, who was shocked by the situation. "Olivia, you need to talk to him properly. Find out what he truly feels." Taking Emily's advice, Olivia planned a weekend getaway. Hoping to mend things, she booked a cabin in the mountains, a place they had visited during their honeymoon. James hesitated but eventually agreed. At the cabin, they sat by the fireplace sipping wine in silence. Olivia took his hand. "James, I miss you. Please talk to me." James sighed. "I miss you too. But every time I look at you, I see that night. I see them touching you. It kills me." Tears streamed down Olivia's face. "I love you, James. I never wanted to hurt you. Please don't let this ruin us." James held her face, looking deep into her eyes. "I don't want to lose you, Olivia. But I don't know if I can ever unsee what happened." The weekend passed with mixed emotions. Love, regret, and uncertainty as they drove home. They knew the journey to healing would be long. Would they survive it? Or would this be the end? Only time would tell. Months passed, and they tried counseling, late-night conversations, and even small gestures to bring back what they lost. But the shadow of that night never truly left them. One evening, James packed a small bag and stood at the door. "I need time, Olivia. I need space to figure this out." She felt her world collapse, but she nodded. "I understand. But please come back to me." James left and Olivia stood in the doorway, watching the love of her life walk away, unsure if he would ever return. Some love stories don't end with a happily ever after. Some end with a question, one that only time can answer. If you like this story and want to hear more exciting, suspenseful stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There's so much more to come, and I promise you won't want to miss a single moment of it.